New York. Unique, New York. Unique, New York. Oh, we're rolling. Hey, YouTube. Sorry, I just felt like being goofy tonight. So, good evening to everyone. It has been exactly 7 months since I had my surgery on August 15th, 2011. Things are going very well. The latest update, if you guys cannot tell, is that I got my braces off, and it has been spectacular. I got them off about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks. Time's flying by. Like I said, it's been 7 months, and it feels like yesterday that I had surgery. Not quite yesterday, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I got my braces off. I've been wearing them for 3.5 years for surgery. This is my second set. My first set I had for 4 years because they were trying to correct my underbite with rubber bands, which was an awful process. But yeah, so it was a pretty happy day for me to get my braces off after 3.5 years. And let me say that no one should have to wear their braces for 3.5 years just for surgery unless you're doing other orthodontic work to straighten your teeth. But my teeth were already straight. I just had to wear them for that long because it took them so long to get my surgery scheduled. I'm going to give you guys a brief rundown of the process that I went through in order to have surgery and to get it paid for. I didn't pay for any of it. I couldn't afford to have paid for an $80,000 surgery. Plus, I have another surgery coming up, so it's going to be like $130,000 total, plus the transportation to get up to Chicago and back. Anyways, okay, so I went to a well-known orthodontist in Rogers, Arkansas, and was talking to her about my underbite because I had heard that the only way to fix it at this point is to have surgery. And she told me about the program through Shriners Children's Hospital in Chicago, and that if I hurried that I could get accepted into the program. You have to be under 18 to be accepted, and I was almost 18, like a month out of turning 18. So we got all my paperwork done, and let's see. I had to find an orthodontist that would go through Smiles for a Lifetime because I didn't want to pay for another set of braces. So then I had to find another orthodontist. Then that orthodontist tried to talk me into getting a local surgeon to do the surgery instead of going through Shriners, even though I had already been up to Chicago and had appointments, blah, blah, blah. So then he was like, well, because at the time I had ARKids insurance, and I was about to turn, it was like I think it was 19 at this point, and they said, well, if you hurry up and get the surgery done by another surgeon here locally, then it'll make it easier on us to follow up, and it should be covered through your health insurance. Well, I went, and the whole thing just seemed risky. They wanted to rush me into doing it in the next 2 weeks, and Shriners had said that I needed to wait at least a year to get my teeth aligned. And I think that they were just trying to get some money in their pocket. And I was also afraid, what if the insurance didn't go through and then it fell back on me? Either way, they're going to get paid, but I'm going to have to pay for it. So I canceled that surgery. Then I had to go back through Shriners. I was put on a waiting list after the orthodontist okayed me for surgery that my teeth were aligned. During this process, like you're having impressions done, you're sending models back and forth. It's a very extensive process. And the first surgery I was scheduled for was so excited. I had been on a waiting list for 6 months. I found out that they accidentally scheduled me for the wrong surgery. They had scheduled me for wisdom teeth removal. So my slot, because they told me they're like, this is an outpatient surgery, and I was like, well, that's impossible because I know I'm supposed to be there for at least like 4 days post surgery. So I figured that out. Otherwise, I would have gone in up there and they would have put me under and realized that my wisdom teeth were already removed. And that would have been a bad ordeal. So then I had to be put back on a waiting list, and then I had scheduled my surgery for last January, which is when I made my first video for you guys. And like I told you before, I went in, I already had the IV in, already had like the relaxing medicine going through me, and they decided to cancel it because I had headaches every day and my dad had passed away from an aneurysm. So in order not to risk anything, they wanted to send me home for tests. So wasted all that time and effort getting up there and being nervous and anxious for a whole day waiting for surgery in the waiting room because the doctor was late. Or the surgeon, I should say. Anyways, so then I had to come back, get an MRI scheduled, get that paid for. MRI didn't work because of my braces, so then I had to have a CT scan. Finally, they figured out nothing was wrong, so then I had to be put back on another waiting list. And eventually I got my surgery scheduled for August 15th, which is when I had my surgery. So yeah, that is why I had to wear braces for 3.5 years. That's not common. So don't let me scare you into not having the surgery by saying that I had to wear my braces for that long, because it should be like 6 months to a year tops, depending on what's going on with your teeth. So, what else do I have to tell you guys? My swelling is, I think, completely gone. You can see that on this side, it's, I can't ever even tell. One side, I looked at my x-rays today because I had to go back to the orthodontist and they took x-rays for me because I had to pick up a new retainer. One side, they put in a bigger plate in my lower jaw, so one side sticks out a little bit further than the other. But because they're taking out those plates, that should even out. But yeah, I was quite a bit bigger. Like, one of them's about like this. I don't know if you can see that. About like that long, and the other one was about like half that size in length. I'm still numb. It's weird. It's not like completely numb. Like, I can feel a sensation, but it's not like touching the rest of my face. And it's still uncomfortable in the shower if like the water's hitting it, or like, no, I could not use a vibrating toothbrush. That would bug the crap out of me. It's still sensitive and painful sometimes, but it does seem like it's coming back. It's either that or I've just gotten so used to it that I don't think about it and it doesn't bother me anymore. I mean, preferably I would like for that to go away, but even if it doesn't, and this is all I'm gonna get, that I would be perfectly fine with that. Like, this is something so small in comparison to having an underbite, which bothered me every day of my life. And I also wanted to tell you guys that I have a surgery coming up in about 2 weeks. It's on the 30th of March in Chicago. I'm going up a few days before to try to make a fun vacation out of it. But they are taking out my plates right here and right here. So they'll be taking off all this flesh going through the gum tissue. And I'll have stitches all the way back around again. And they're taking out all 4 plates. So eventually, like once the swelling goes down, my face should look a little bit thinner than it does now. And they're also realigning my septum, which I have shown you guys was deviated in my first surgery. I will show you again. I don't know if you can tell. One, like my septum is to the side and the nostrils are different sizes. And I know it's like barely noticeable, but it moved my like lip, the same. Quit barking. Sorry. It moved the center of my lip over to the side a little bit because this is attached to your septum, and then also like up in there is slanted, and it's harder for me to breathe out on one side. So they're just gonna go ahead and take care of that for me, and they haven't seen me for 5 months, something like that. So they're going to reevaluate everything and make sure that there's nothing else that they need to do, like no other changes. I'm not sure exactly what they would be, but I mean, I would rather it be less, but at the same time, this is the last surgery that I'm going to have that's paid for through them, because once you turn 21, as a patient under the Shriners Children's Hospital, they're not supposed to work on you. So they're just finishing up what went wrong in the last surgery and then done. So if there is anything that they see that like needs adjusting, I'd rather them do it now, because otherwise it's going to be coming out of my pocket later on. So I have surgery coming up. I also want to tell you that I do have popping on the side. You probably can't hear it. I can definitely hear it. My computer keeps going to screensaver. But especially if I press on it or go side to side, that looked funny. You can hear it and I can feel it. It feels like it's like popping in and out of place, but I guess that's pretty common. And when I'm eating, you can hear it and I can feel it. Let's see. I made a list so I didn't forget anything to tell you guys. I wanted to share with you something that I had ran into since my surgery. People haven't been saying this to my face, but I'm sure that it's been talked about among other people, and it's been said to me on Facebook. So I'm sure if someone says it to me on Facebook, then like other people see it and then they start talking or thinking about it, and then they make little comments, and it aggravates the crap out of me. I have posted pictures and like updates on Facebook saying like I finally got my braces off and me smiling, and because I have family that I never get to see, and you know, I want to share that with them. I look not completely, but I look very different than I did before. I wasn't able to smile like this. It was like, I mean, I can't even do it now, but you saw me before. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do a lot of things. And anyways, let me get to the point. People have been making comments that like they're assuming because they don't know that I've had like plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery done, or that it was something elective, like she really didn't need to have that done. She just did it to look better, that kind of thing. And I would not go through 6 months of recovery time and that much like pain in the beginning just for a cosmetic surgery. And it really bothers me when people assume that, because it's completely different. If it wasn't medically necessary, they wouldn't have paid for it. They wouldn't have paid for the entire thing. No one would pay for a cosmetic surgery. So just know that that's something that you'll probably run into, and be prepared to deal with that. watched other YouTube videos, and a lot of people will say that, oh, you got a nose job too. Well, your nose rests on your upper jaw, and when they move your upper jaw forward that far, or moves it at all, depending on the surgery, it's going to change the look of your nose. Like for me, my nose is a lot further out than it used to be because it rests on your upper jaw. So yeah, my nose looks different. No one has said that to me, but I've heard that on other YouTube videos about jaw surgery. So yeah, that's been frustrating, and I mean, it's still worth it to me. I really don't care what other people think, but I just hate when people assume without even asking or knowing the whole story. Just another reason why I like doing these YouTube videos. I'm sure that a lot of people would just have seen me and thought, oh, well, she had something done. But if you watch my YouTube videos, you will realize like the whole process and why it happened and everything that was medically wrong before that this surgery enabled me to overcome. So yeah, just be prepared for that. I have received 2 retainers since getting my braces off. You can't see it, but I have a clear one in right now. And I have a bonded retainer on the bottom. And I have another one that I sleep in at night, which I just received today. I want to stress to you guys how important it is to wear your retainers. It doesn't matter if you've had jaw surgery or not, but if you've gone through that long process of having braces, I mean, either way, you really want to wear your retainers. And for me, I hate the feeling because you can feel your teeth move, and then when you put your retainer back in, even if it's a short period of time, once I put my retainer back in, I can tell that it's a little bit harder to get the retainer on and that it's adjusting my teeth. I can feel it. So you definitely don't want to let that go. Don't assume that it's not important because it is very important. You don't want to go through 3.5 years, or for me it's going to be 4 after the second surgery, of work and effort and time put into something and then waste it by not wearing a retainer, especially one that you can't even see. So I know that people do that, and I just want to stress to you guys that it's not worth it. And if you're like me, you won't want to do it anyways because it's an uncomfortable feeling. I think that is about it. That's all on my list. Once again, feel free to ask me any questions, message me, comment on the video, whatever you guys want to do. I will be making updates post-surgery for my next upcoming surgery so you guys can see in case that you have to have your septum realigned or have to have your plates taken out. I do have a friend that had a similar surgery done, and they also had to realign his septum because his septum deviated as well. So it is something common, and I would like to share that with you guys so you'll know what to expect. They told me it should only take about 2 weeks to a month to get back to doing your regular activities, which I am strongly hoping for because I just started a new job and I hate to take off already. But knowing me and what it was like for me the last time, it's probably going to take longer because they said 2 months the last time, and I couldn't go back to school for like 3 months because I was so tired and I was still swollen and it was still uncomfortable. So hopefully that goes as they say it will go. I hope I have covered everything. I will show you guys my dogs because I usually do. And they've been scratching at me, wanting to come up and say hi. Julius, Delilah, come here. You can hear him running. Come here. There's a boy. And here's Dee. Delilah. These are my toy poodles. Okay, well, I will give you guys some profile shots. Front. I can't stop smiling because I like the way my smile looks so much. Okay, front. Side. Hope you guys can see that. Move it around, get the right angle. Maybe the dogs weren't a good idea. Say bye. Bye. Oh, you guys are heavy. And then side, other side. I remembered one thing. They had told me in the first surgery that they were considering doing something with my chin, like rotating it or moving it in some way. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. It had something to do with my jaw, but they didn't want to do it all at once. So depending on what they think when they see me the next time, that might be something that they also do. So we'll just see. I'll keep you guys updated. I might shoot you a video the night before because I pre-admit the day before and they'll tell me what they decide to do. So I might tell you guys ahead of time in case it's hard for me to talk the next day. Okay, well, you guys have a happy St. Patrick's Day and a good spring. Get your spring cleaning done like I've been doing. Okay, bye guys.